Good morning, everybody. Just watching these numbers come out right now. Okay, happy Wednesday. Welcome to QOL Trading Pre-Market Analysis. Today is June 10th, and waiting for some data here to pop through. And let's go. Okay, core CPI month over month, 0.2% down a little bit, what they're expected. Year over year in line. It seems like it's always in line. And let's see, could have a positive. The CPI number being down a little bit could have a positive impact on things. So let's see what happens here. It's pinned. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. And let's see what we have. Nothing really left for the rest of the day. You've got crude oil inventories, which I think that once everything gets sorted out in the Middle East, I think there's probably going to be some shortages down the road, but that'll probably spike oil. One thing to note right now, it seems like negotiations are falling apart a little bit. Trump just put something out about an hour and a half ago about that they've been that Iran has taken too long to negotiate, and the deal would have been a great deal for them. Now they'll have to pay the price. So, not sure what that means. Doesn't sound good, but we'll see what happens there. So let's get into things. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. Start out with the VIX like we always have right now. The VIX is starting to elevate a little bit. Jumped yesterday. We have some gap downs that probably need to close before you can get down to get back to some normalcy here. Got a gap down from April 8th at $25.74, and then the last gap down we had was from March 30th at $30.34. That's when everything started to take off. All the broader markets and equities with this tenacious rally that we've had right now. So big level right here, this $22. You want to see us below that. If we can get below that, then maybe we can fall back down. But I think everybody's kind of waiting on a bunch of things this week. One, figure out what's going to happen with Iran, and two, the SpaceX IPO that's happening on Friday. So I think you got a combination of things why the market's pulled back a little bit. One, obviously that jobs report number came out last week, which indicated that they're probably hawkish on interest rates and potentially even raising rates by the end of the year. Before, I think last Friday's jobs report, I think in the market was they had rate cuts before the end of the year, at least one. So that may be taken out of the equation now based on that report. But we'll see what that CPI number did for today. Oh, excuse me. That may have helped things a little bit, helped balance things out. So, but as far as the SpaceX is concerned, everybody's running to jump into this thing, and it just kind of reminds me of the .com era when everybody was really ready to throw money into all these stocks that were coming out, just as long as they had a .com at the end of their name, right? Do I think that SpaceX will be a successful company in the future? Of course, I do. But right now, just so everybody should know, they're losing money. Let me see. I did some search on this right now. They are. Let's see. Morningstar has them valued out at $780 billion. It's about half of what the potential stock price is going to be at. And then I think they are losing quickly here. So yeah, they got a net loss of $4.9 billion. So they are still losing money right now. So everything is all based on potential forward earnings. What they have with it that's tied in with SpaceX is you have the AI company, and you've got their satellite company. The satellite company is the only company that's making money in their in the whole SpaceX umbrella there. So, yeah. So we'll see what happens there. Also, I think there's been a lot of rebalancing. I think people have been rebalancing their portfolios right now so they can get a little dry powder so they can invest in this. Do I think it's going to be a company down the road that's going to be there for the next 15, 20 years? I do. But does that mean that you go jump buying right away? I think that it's the biggest IPO in history, so I think there's a very solid chance that it could continue to take off, regardless of the valuations. None of the valuations make any sense. Truth is, if you look at Tesla, Tesla's got their stock price right now is at if you do the numbers on it, I think it's like 150 times forward earnings. So those numbers are pretty crazy right there. So you do have to pay attention to that, but. That being said, there are Tesla believers, and so you have to just go with that. Let's take a look at crude oil. What's oil doing right now? Spiking a little bit, probably over the last hour. We're looking at a 4-hour chart. So it's spiking right now based on what Trump said. So it came down to this 87.42 level. It's a 50% retracement since the high, and it seems to be holding that pretty steadily right now. So I would say... if you're an oil trader right now, you'd like to lose this 87.42. For us here on the retail side, for go to the gas tank, we want to see this $87.42 a barrel be lost, right? But overall, as long as it's below $100 a barrel, I think that could be the new norm for oil, and we could be okay with that. But you got to watch. You got a bunch of gap ups here. Gap downs here, 96.99. But we do have a gap up from February 27th at 67.83. So that would be real nice if we get down there. That would definitely give us some relief from the pump. And I would not be surprised if oil prices start to come down a little bit based on the fact they've got midterms coming up, and they definitely want to see those prices come down so the Democrats don't have anything to complain about with the Republican administration. So all right, let's get on with the ES, and we'll move forward on ES here. Where are you? So ES, just beautiful rally here where you're looking at down here at 63.53 is from March 30th, and then this tenacious rally that we've had ever since. So even though the market sold off a little bit, everybody is saying that, oh, here's the top, here's the top. I don't necessarily think we're at the top yet. I think, though, what's going to be important is when the IPO comes out on Friday, and it's important that SpaceX trade holds its levels that it opens up at. That's going to be important. So if it just falls off the ledge on Friday, I think that's going to be bad for equities personally, because I think people are rebalancing their portfolios, getting some extra money so they can buy into this stock immediately. So we'll see what happens with it, but I am optimistic. Hopefully it does well. We want all IPOs to do well, but there's a bunch of them that are starting to get valued right now. I think I saw something with Claude, and I think it's Claude that's coming out, and their stock price is valued to come out at $535 a share. So real aggressive, but it's just kind of a deja vu from the .com era, I'm telling you. Anyways, what I'd like to see here on the ES, this is a great pullback level. I would say these two levels right here, 7,069 to 7,034, they're ideal levels to pull back to. If you go back and you look right at those levels, you see how we had the highs here, rejected the highs, and you popped through. I went over this yesterday. It's a beautiful break and retest level. So I do like that. If we could pull back to 7,034 or 7,069, those would be some great pullback long entries, and then we can possibly start moving back towards new highs again. So, whatever kind of pullback that we've had over the last week, it's nothing, people. I mean, look at where the all-time highs are. They're 76.32. We're right there. It's like a few percentage points off the high. So watch your levels right there. If you lose 72, 82, 94, I think you quickly move down to this 71.45 level, and this regressional trend line here that I have from October 12th of 2022. So upside, not thinking long on the upside. If you do get above this 74.29.85, I think you're going to quickly move into that 75.10.50, because I think you got a nice little speed zone in here, right? You had a little a little up and down in here, but I think that the majority of these shorts right here will be scrambling if you start getting above the 74.29.85 level, right? So let's look at the SPY. The SPY is going to be very similar. SPY on the same thing. Got to hold this 724.87 level. If not, you could see this big speed zone down here. We'll come back down here to, I would say, 708.40. And then this regressional trend line here from October 13th of 2022 would give you some support, along at this 38.2% retracement from the highs. So this Fibonacci levels that I have here, I have it from March 30th to the high that we got on, when did we get that? On June, earlier this month. So I think that a great pullback level again for the SPY, 682.26, right? So not a bad pullback area there. Let me just fan out here. The ideal pullback, 698.96. So you can see same thing. These highs were rejected, they were respected, and you finally broke through it. So now you're waiting to come back down and retest these levels. So good level, 698.96. Put that on your chart. Take a snapshot, put them on your charts, people. You can see as far as the upside here, in order for us to get long, be comfortable long, you got to recapture that 743.46. Then you can start pushing into these previous all-time highs, right? All right, let's get into the NASDAQ. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button, like this video. Leave a comment in the chat if you want me to cover anything that I don't typically cover on my pre-market analysis. Also, don't forget to go to our website, QOLTrading.com. Put your name, email address in there so you can get our weekly newsletter. It's free. We're on our 13th edition now. Pretty much goes over the week in review and what's expected in the following week. And then also down in the link there, actually in the chat and also in the description, you can join our Discord community. Joining the community is free. However, if you want to join our trading room, which is from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time every day, that is a nominal monthly fee. So, but come check it out. You can actually check out the trading room for, you can come in for a free day if you want and check it out without losing any money. But anyways, I don't consider it losing money. I think it's a fantastic investment. You can pick my brain, and with all my years of experience of trading, I'm not perfect. However, I do have a lot of knowledge here. So getting to the NASDAQ right now, I think if you can get above this 29,066.41 level and hold it, I think you could quickly retrace this speed zone here up in this 29,783.54 before you get a little resistance up there. On the downside here, you can see how we held this low from May 6, 28,336 pretty aggressively, yesterday afternoon. We're looking at a 4-hour chart right now, by the way. So, I would like us to get above, I would say if you can get above this 29,198, this will be a nice little speed zone to pop back up there. On the downside, though, you could see right here, speed zone as well. Why is it a speed zone? Because straight uphill, one direction, right? These longs will then say to themselves, okay, I may be wrong here. So, 28,336 line in the sand. It is a 4-hour chart, so it's you've got some distance with these levels. But I'll put these levels on your charts. I like having longer term chart levels. They're more solid than a shorter time frame, right? So I would take a 4-hour time frame level over a 1-minute time frame level, right? Because there's more data in a 4-hour chart than there is in a 1-minute chart, right? Because 1 minute can fly all different directions. So more on the upside here. If you do get above this 29,783, I think you're going to quickly move into that, back to the all-time highs real quickly. I've got this level up here, 30,112 on the charts. We'll see what happens as the market pushes towards that. Not necessarily sure I'm going to leave that up there, but you could just see nice stair-stepping higher all the way since March 30th. Does that mean we're going to give back this entire move? No, but pullbacks are very healthy for the marketplace. So let's get over to the Qs, and then we'll move on to Tesla, and then we will close up shop for the day. Qs, same thing on the Qs. Need to hold this 696.64 level. If you lose that 696.64 level, I think you quickly move down here to this 674.10 level. You can see it, same thing. Real, big speed zone. Nothing to support it here. The longs are going to start to panic, and then they'll start to get out of their shorts, excuse me, get out of their longs and maybe pick up a short position. Same thing on the upside though. If you get above the 710.03, we are below this regressional trend line that I have here from April 5th of 2025. So well over a year ago. But again, you could see a speed zone that's, cropping right in here between, I would say, between the 715 and 725 level on the Qs today. So you could see it respected it. So you're going to have to respect that level again if it pops back up into that level. So downside again, 696.64 is your line in the sand. If you lose that level, you're quickly moving down here to the 674 level. And then if you lose 674 level, I've got a regressional trend line here that I just spoke of from April 5th, sitting at about 665, right? But the ideal pullback, got to look further out here to see your ideal pullback. Here's your ideal pullback. It's down here at 643, right? See how this rejected here. Where is that date here? Rejected here from October of last year. Rejected again February of this year, and then we popped through it, right? So good resistance, and then boom, popped through it, supported it. So this will be a fantastic level if the market does pull back to that 643.76 level. Okay. All right, let's get on to Tesla here, and then we'll get on to all the rest of the fun stuff here. Tesla, same thing. You can just see it's just right now, it's making lower highs, right? Lower lows. Here's a lower low. And yesterday, of course, here's the lower high from the previous day, lower low from the previous day there. However, same thing on Tesla. You could see these speed zones. They create these speed zones and boom, and they get retraced. So here was the speed zone from, from Friday. And then it popped back up. Didn't quite close the speed zone, but now we had another speed zone that was created yesterday. So your line in the sand for this speed zone here to start to accelerate 401.68. As long as you're below, I would say as long as you're below this 38.2% retracement of the Fibonacci level, 399.45. So, call it 400. It's going to be your line in the sand today. If you get above that, I think you'll push into this, obviously 401.68, which is a high from May 6th. And then if you get above that, you start to retrace this speed zone right here. On the downside, though, which is definitely what's, Tesla's been doing is every rally has been sold into at some point. You're going to have, we have this inflection point that I have here. I've got a couple of regressional trend lines that are sitting right here. You've got one trend line that's sitting here from June 16th of 2019. It's a midline regressional trend line, right? And then we have one from the high. Actually, it's from October of 2025, right? So we've got a regressional trend line. This one that's from June of 2019. This is a trend up. And then this one that's sitting here from October of 2025, this is a trend down. And it's a nice inflection point. You can just see, beautifully in after hours how it just held. So that's going to be your line in the sand today for Tesla. So if you do lose this level right here, this, call it 689 level, you're going to come down here. You see how it respected this 385.16 level. This was a high from April 30th, excuse me. So it was a beautiful break and retest, right? So here was your high, pop back up, came back down, and here is your high from April 30th, excuse me. Came back, broke through it, came back down, retested it yesterday. So that'll be a decent level here. 485.16, got to hold that level within, for the next few days. If you lose that level, then we are coming down here and we're going to start testing some of these retracement levels here. 376.05, and then you've got a low of 372.54 from April 28th. And then we've got this May of 2025 March high, 367.71. And don't forget about our open point of control that we have sitting here since September 4th of 2025 down at 333.97. You're saying to yourself, oh my God, 333.97, 60 points. Well, if you guys trade Tesla, you can get down there and, sometimes in a day and sometimes 2 days. So watch your levels on that. Let's look at a macro level on Tesla here on the 15-minute chart. This looks much cleaner, right? So you can see right here, I would say you're above 396.66. You could push up here, and your first leg of that speed zone would be up here to that 401.68 level, and then probably get some resistance up here at 403.13. And if you plow through that, you're coming up right back up in here to this 408 level, right? So, watch that level right there. Now let's get into the fun stuff here with this new indicator that we've been running, people. Here is Tesla's chart yesterday. Here's the 1 minute. You can see yesterday on the 1 minute, you had a one-way direction right at the beginning of the morning here. You broke your range at 414, and 7 minutes after the market opened, you got your range of $3, hit your first price target. And then when it hit the first price target, the signal came up and said exit your long. You exited your long right there, and then right here, this is telling you that this move is over. It had that yellow square, I call it the yellow square of death, and then it tells you that this long move is now over. And now here we are. It's telling you to get into another trade here, a short trade here. It tells you to exit it right here. This is a 1 minute chart. So the 1 minute chart is going to be a lot noisier than a 5 minute chart or a 15 minute chart. There's going to be less signals firing on a longer term chart than there is on a shorter term chart. I look at the shorter term chart for my entries. I look at the longer term charts for my bias, and then I look for my shorter term charts for my entries, either a 1 or a 2 minute chart, right? So now you see we hit there 7 minutes after the market open, you hit your first price target. That keeps our percentages up between 94 and 96% now. And what that means is that every out of 30 days, actually this is now running on like 70 days, that it's going to hit a price target. Once the thing is, it'll set your levels. So the indicator sets its levels after 1 minute, and then it adjusts itself with whatever chart I do. I'll do a 2 minute, a 5 minute, a 15 minute. These levels will change, all based on that opening range. So this code is all based on the opening range of the chart, of the time frame of the chart that I'm using. So this we're looking at is a 1 minute. So in the first 1 minute of the day on Tesla, here was your range: 414.28 for a high, 410 for a low. When you broke the high, people have their trade strategies. When you break a range, you take a trade going in that direction, and then you leave, and the charts are stationary the rest of the day. And then when it broke down here at 9:09, you could have taken another trade, and then after 9:09, by another 11 minutes later, you hit your, a little less than that. About 8 minutes later, you hit your first price target on the downside, and then 9 minutes later, you hit your second price target, and your day could be over, right? So let's, before we get into the options on what we're going to do for today. So, I'll just show you a different example of different time charts, right? So here's your range, 410 to 414. If I go to a 5 minute chart from yesterday, the range on the 5 minute chart yesterday was 410 to 416, right? So it was a little higher on the upside, right? So now let's go to a 15 minute chart. So here's your 15 minute chart from yesterday. So your range on your 15 minute chart was 410 to 418. So it expanded that another 2 minutes, but then you broke it. And so if you're taking this trade, you can see what I mean by less noise. Here, it does not give you your first signal to get into a trade until 9 o'clock. So some people like trading on a longer time frame. It's less emotion. It's not so, oh my God, I got to get into a trade. And if you do start to base it off your 15 minute, your results are going to be not in the 90 percentile. However, based on your return, if you don't need, you need like 60%, even less than 60% to make a lot of money on this, because your stops are going to be, let's say you got into this trade yesterday at 410. You took your 410 short, you had a $3 stop here. But if you took your 410 short, you were getting a $7 first price target. So it's almost like a 1.5 to 1. And so if you win more than 50% of the time, you're going to make money, a lot of money, people. I mean, those rates are, those returns are ridiculous. But you can see also, now it gave you your signal on the short. It didn't tell you to exit until here at 3.99. So that's an $11 move. You're going to be in it for a little while, but that's everybody's own trade strategy. So you broke your range at 9 o'clock, and then if you stayed in this trade until it gave you an exit sign, it was 10 o'clock. So you were in this trade for an hour, and you made $11 on that move. Fantastic, right? Before we get into what strike price we're going to do today, let's go over the Mag 7. All Mag 7s hits, they hit again. We just went over Tesla here. Here's NVIDIA. NVIDIA yesterday. You could see what NVIDIA did once it broke its level here. The first 3 minutes of the day, your day is done. Hit your first price level here. And then, just so we understand each other, the way I'm able to plow through this is your purple line is your lower level first price target. Your dotted line is your second on the downside. On the upside, your blue is your first price target. On the upside, your dotted blue, and we're calling it blue. It's not blue. I think it's cayenne. Is your second price target on the upside. So I could see right here, your red is your lower end of the range. Your green is your higher end of that range. And we are looking at a 1 minute chart here. So now let's get into Apple. Apple, boom. Apple hit its first price target at 8:56, 26 minutes after the market opened, and then at 9:01 it hit its second price target. Here we have Meta. Meta had a first price target was hit at 8:48, 18 minutes after the market was open, and then that was in. I'm not sure if it came back down later on in the day and hit the lower end price target. Yep, and then later part of the day, the market then gave you your signals, and you could have hit your price target not only on the first price target on the downside, but your second price target as well, right? So, and then because your yellow square. So the indicators are amazing, people. Just got to come and check it out. I've been trading on it ever since I created it, because I created it based off of my trade strategy. Here we are looking at Google right now. Google, first 2 minutes of the day, boom, done. 3 minutes of the day, your second price target is hit. Call it a day. And now here we are with Amazon. Amazon, same thing. 4 minutes after the market opened, it was done. And then 5 minutes after the open, hit your second price target. And Microsoft, lastly, which is not the best performing on this indicator, you did have a nice day on Microsoft yesterday. After 18 minutes, the first price target was hit. And then after 21 minutes, second price target was hit. Your day is done. Okay, that's it for the Mag 7. But those results are fantastic too. By the way, every one of these Mag 7 stocks on the 1 minute chart, let me see what the 1 minute. Meta and Apple and Google were, Meta was 86% win rate on the 1 minute chart. And then, let's see, and Apple was 86% on the 1 minute chart. And then everything else was in the 90 percentile, anywhere from 92 to 96% win rate on the 1 minute chart for these price targets to hit. These signals take away the majority, I would say 90 to 95% of your discretionary decisions. What you have to understand and you have to master is reading price action, right? And it's not like, okay, it gives you a signal, get into the trade. You have to come down here, and I talk about that's where your money is made, right? You got to watch your volumes and see where your price action is, right? So just because, now don't look up here, look down here. This is where all the volume is going to be. So for today, I'm going to start the day off with today's expiration date, which is June 10th. I'm going to start with the 395 calls. So we're just below it right now. So they closed yesterday. They closed at $5.50. Yesterday's market closed. Tesla closed at 391. So I think, but they are going to expire today. So you're going to have a little theta loss here. Theta is time decay, right? So it's going to be a little whippy in the morning. I'm going to trade this for probably the first half hour, 45 minutes of the day. And then I may switch to Friday's expiration date, which is June 12th, and just expand the call strike price, right? As far as the puts are concerned, I'm going to have the 385 puts on here. And I may change that because they closed at $1.05, and it's probably the premium price is going to be too cheap for me. I like to be trading my premiums, by the way, at least $3 premiums, because they move $5 at a tick, right? So these move at $1 a tick, so it's not going to be great as far as your big bang for your buck, right? If it's moving $5 at a time, a one lot makes you $25, and a one lot down here makes you $1, right? So you want to definitely increase your big bang for your buck there. So anyways, I also have the options, the indicator on our options chart too, and you could see yesterday it plots the same plot as it does for your indicators here, right? So you could just see right here, if you were trading this yesterday morning, 48 cents and you made 28 cents, and then got up to 74 cents. So you could just see, obviously, as the market tanked yesterday, the premium price was like through the roof, right? But gives you the same signals down here on your options too. So the indicator is really fantastic. Anyways, that's going to be it for today. So you want to learn more about the indicator and you want to see the live trading, come on down, join that Discord link down below. And we do live trading from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time. If you're not going to be in there, that's fine. Just join the Discord community anyways. That is free. You'll see my, I post a link every morning to bring everybody here for the YouTube channel where we are. And then also there's some other channels, and there's some level channels if you want me to go over any charts, levels that you have. I'll be glad to do that. However, I do not go over any penny stocks. I only go over levels of companies that are actually making money. Aside from that, that's going to be it for today. As far as going forward, I may be doing pre-market analysis early tomorrow, but there's a chance I may not be. But there's definitely not going to be any trading in the trade room tomorrow or Friday. But I'll see if I can get my pre-market analysis out early. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below or put something in the chat, and I'll be glad to answer them. If I don't see you, have a great day.